welcome back to Press Box. Before we introduce our guests, I do want to say that do check out our website, www.thedisabilitychannel.ca. Enroll in our employment programs for persons with disabilities and veterans, and check out all the great events coming up, including our fall September 220 and 2 fundraiser focused on raising funds, awareness, and supporting veterans. So again, we're down here at Artscape. We're in our studio in Toronto. As you can see, one of our producers behind us. It's going. It's a live studio. We love being back in person. So without further ado, let's introduce our first guest. He is a sports podcaster, Brett Willis. Brett, thanks for coming on the show today.
Hey, Jay. Thanks for having me.
This is great. Now, I've been checking your blogs and everything, your podcast offline. You got quite the following. You're quite knowledgeable. So why don't you give our viewers a little bit of a background on your sports history, and then we'll just get right into all the topics.
You know, I've been a sports fan all my life, and my first love is the NHL and the Maple Leafs, and you know, it all runs downhill from there. I'm a big CFL guy, so there's a lot of people that look at you kind of funny when you say, "Oh yeah, I like the CFL way more than I like the NFL." But I got to give the NFL its props too. I'm a Buffalo Bills guy, and obviously when the Raptors came to town, I was a kid. I was probably about 10, so I'm a big basketball guy too. And you know,
that's great. I love that. I love to hear that when you say you're a sports guy. Like for the CFL, I used to be a CFL guy back when they used to play at the exhibition. So that's a few years going back. I'm still a big supporter of CFL. I mean, you got to be, right? You got to be a big supporter of the Argos. I wish I was more involved. I just find that CFL, they change teams so often, or maybe it's just me, right? I'm more of an NFL guy, but we need CFL fans. We need soccer fans, right? I'm in hunt for a soccer reporter because we're all about the World Cup now. So maybe you can add that to your resume too, Brett, because we want to cover soccer, right? I mean, obviously, right? That'd be great.
It's funny. I'm not a massive soccer fan, but I do appreciate the beautiful game. And obviously TFC here in the Greater Toronto Area, as well as having the Team Canada men qualify for a World Cup for the first time since '86. But you got to give props to the women. The women have been plugging along for I feel like at least a decade, and they're on top of their game, and so we got to give props to them for sure.
I think it's great. Like I said, obviously Canada, we're hockey, hockey bred, hockey live, die, Leafs and everything. But to bring in soccer at this high level and the success we've had, it's nothing but kudos and the soccer players and itself. So we'll get into that. Let's flip the switch. Let's talk a little bit. Well, before we get to the Leafs, give me your take on the Raptors season. Obviously, they were bumped out last night by the 76ers. So what do you think about them?
You know, you were mentioning that I've got a large social media following, and so I was searching Twitter today and just trying to get a feel of how people felt and whatnot. And there's a lot of people that are about 50-50, and you know, when you go out and lose by 30 points in a game 6, it's tough. But you know, they did way better than I thought they were going to. I really did. I suggested that they would probably win in 6. I was a little short on that, but you know, I think it was a successful year. The fact that they were out of Canada for at least a season, and then they came back and played in front of fans for the most part, and I think that it makes the game more exciting, and they were under some really tremendous circumstances. So,
well, no, I agree, and I find that with the team this year, I mean, we missed the Kawhi. We didn't have our superstar, right? And Philly had 2 superstars, or 2 really, really, Harden and the other guy. So that's their superstars. We missed the Kawhi. But I thought we did a fabulous job. I think what's going to happen though. I'm looking into my crystal ball, and we are going to lose Nick Nurse.
We may lose Nick Nurse.
I think so.
I think that I honestly don't. I don't fall for that narrative, or I'm not following that narrative. He's under contract with Basketball Canada, And I think he absolutely loves this country, and I think he loves the city. If we lose him, we'll end up rebounding. Pardon the pun, but we'll find somebody else
Oh,
that is more than capable of coaching this team. I'm happy as heck. I've managed to see my basketball team win an NBA championship in my lifetime. So
well, I think it would be a big mistake if he left because he has the key to Toronto and he's from here. And I think it would be a big mistake, and I think he would regret it. Like so many people that have left Toronto organizations, whether that's basketball like Vince Carter or the Leafs or the Blue Jays, they always say, I should have stayed. I should have stayed in Toronto. The people are great. It's a world class city. It's safe and I was treated like a king. Why did I go? Why did I leave? So hopefully he won't leave, but I think the bright lights and the big money is going to take him away. But we'll see. So I want to congratulate the Raptors on a great season. Let's move it on. Let's save the playoffs for a little bit. Let me hear your take on the early season of the Jays.
you know, these Blue Jays are so exciting to watch, and everything everything seems to be falling into place right now. But I mean, when you're less than 20 games into the season, you don't count your chickens before they hatch, especially when baseball is a marathon and not a sprint. 162 games could go either way, and they like I said, they have all the pieces in place to run the table, but there's a lot of factors that need to take place in order for them to be successful. They need to stay healthy. They need to make sure that their starters pitch at least 6 innings per game. They need to make sure that their bullpen is healthy and effective. And honestly, it's baseball is such a funny sport because it's not only a pitcher needs to pitch, but a hitter needs to hit, a fielder needs to field. There's so many factors involved for success, and how often does that happen on a given day, on a given week, in a given season?
No, I think it's true. I think they're well on their way to a successful season. Couple points I would probably make right now. I think their bats are coming around slowly. I mean, they had a big quick out of the gate. Vladdy hit 5 home runs in 8 games, but now he's been quiet for the last 10 games or whatever. So I think the bats will come around. I think Hernandez getting hurt set us back a little. Good thing we have some nice bats. George Springer. I mean, George Springer barely played last year, so we have him kind of for the first time this year for a full season so far. I think we're gonna miss Marcus Simeon, but I think we're replacing him, and I love our rotation. I got my producer saying, let's take a quick break. Let's come back and finish some more Blue Jays, and then we'll hop right into the playoffs and how the Leafs are going to do this year. You're watching a special presentation of Press Box. On the show today, we have sports podcaster Brett Willis. He's telling us all about his take on the Leafs, the Blue Jays, the Raptors. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back as we're going to dive into the Leafs in a few minutes. You're watching Press Box. We'll be right back.